So it's that time of year again, coming Easter time, where a project gets started in schools all across the country and care homes too, and that's called the Living Egg Project. So what happens is at education exhibitions, they will be promoting their idea, which is to take eggs which are due to be hatched, to take them from the hens and put them in schools and care homes and sell them to schools as an idea for education and learning about the cycle of life. So these stalls often have live animals on them as well, so they exhibit the chicks there on display, so the teachers will see just how cute these little baby chicks are. Will say, oh, what a great idea, the kids will love them, they will be so cute, and this is a good way to get the kids interested in learning. So what these teachers often don't realise is that these eggs have been separated from their mother. So they have become orphans, and often what they don't realise too is that mother hens really love their babies, and the babies learn a lot from their mothers during that first stage of life. Now, you've probably heard the term mother hen used quite a lot as a term of affection and saying that mothers who really like to protect their children, mothers who are on guard and always looking out for their children and their best interest. That's exactly where this term came from. Mother hens love to protect their babies. They will do anything to protect their babies, and they form very close bonds with them. Now, if these baby chicks were allowed to have the freedom that they deserve and live with their mother hens, they would enjoy taking baths, making nests, creating friendships, and even making a pecking order. So what happens when a school or a care home decides to buy into this product? They will send a volunteer to the school or the care home with eggs just before they're about to hatch, usually a few days before, and they're extremely fragile at this stage. They place them in an incubator, which is basically a plastic box, and they place a light in there to keep them warm. And they do this because this helps to make the eggs hatch. Usually the eggs would hatch from the warmth of the mother hen. The hen would be lying on the eggs, and the warmth of her natural body heat would make them hatch. So instead, they've used a light bulb in a plastic box.
Here it is. Oh, look. Now we gotta get it warm so it'll fluff up.
What they also won't tell you at the Living Egg Project is these babies often suffer from injuries and disabilities due to being separated from their mother at such an early stage before they've hatched. So they're teaching kids about the natural cycle of life, and there is nothing natural about a plastic box and a light bulb instead of the warmth of the mother hen, which is what would naturally happen. Now, when the babies do hatch from the eggs, they are often passed around to the kids, and it's very noisy in the classrooms and it's very stressful. As you can imagine, the kids are very excited to be holding little tiny baby cute fluffy chicks. They're newborns and they're being passed around like toys, often mishandled and dropped as well. I did work in a school one time where they had this project, and I was really against it, but unfortunately the school didn't listen to me and introduced this project anyway. And the baby chicks were passed around to all the kids, and there was such a lack of responsibility with handling these babies, and the kids were really rough with them. Chicks would often naturally imprint on their mother, which is where they form an extremely close bond with them. They choose one person and they form this real close bond and relationship. Now, because their mothers aren't around and they have been taken from them, they often end up imprinting on the children. Now, this has extreme psychological impacts on them when they are then separated and taken away from these children, because they see that child as their mother. They've imprinted on them, and so it's like a whole separation again. Now, after 2 weeks of living in this plastic box with a light bulb and being passed around to the different children in the classrooms or in the care home. Living Egg Project says on their website that they will then take them to free-range homes where they will live their life happily. What they don't tell you again is that this means they will be eventually sent to slaughter, and then you will see them in supermarkets and restaurants and people will be eating them. A lot of them will also end up back in the egg industry where they were taken from in the first place, from their mother. Now this means that these new females that have been born, they will go through the same process that their mother did. And if you don't know about the cruelty on egg farms, then I will leave some links below where you can check that out. Male chicks are simply of no use to the egg industry. So this means they are gassed and often ground up alive by machines because they don't lay eggs, therefore they are no use. Lucky chicks will end up in a petting zoo, which is really no bad because they are forced to be confined for the rest of their lives, and then they too are sent to slaughter. The children are often lied to, and they're never told what really happens to these innocent animals that they have grown to love and adore. There are so many alternatives to using animals in this way. If we want to teach kids about the real cycle of life, that we could take them out into our gardens, we could take them to a park to plant seeds and watch these plants grow and watch trees grow, and this is a natural cycle of life. One thing that we did when I was in school was we had a huge pond with loads of frogs, and then when it came to springtime they would all start mating, and then there would be loads of tiny tadpoles, and we'd come out and watch them, and we'd draw them in our little booklets and write about them and learn about them this way and watch them grow and thrive in their natural environments. We could also show them videos of these processes. Better yet, take them to visit an animal sanctuary, take them to see some of these animals that have been rescued, where they can really learn about the responsibilities of keeping an animal, keeping them safe, looking after them properly, showing compassion and love to them, and even teaching them about how important it is to not abuse or neglect animals, and to treat every living, breathing, sentient being with respect. Now, it's not just hens. There are ducks that this happens to as well, and many other animals who are exploited in different ways in forms of entertainment. Last year I went to visit an animal sanctuary. It's one called Friend Animal Rescue, and we, London Vegan Actions, organise volunteered trips down there, like once a month, twice a month even. And it was there that I saw these ducks that had been rescued from a school that introduced the Living Egg Project. They're from the Living Egg Project, which is when they sell the eggs to schools, and the children watch them hatch, and it's meant to be really educational, but there is nothing educational about it. We found out, sadly, that they were going to end up in a Chinese restaurant if the teacher hadn't have brought them there. So shout out to Friend for always helping these innocent animals and doing the best that they can. It's not easy running a sanctuary, and they don't get funds from the government or anything. They rely solely on our donations. So if you can, then send them a kind donation just to say thank you. And keep supporting rescues, keep supporting animal sanctuaries, because they really need it. Without them, who would look after all of these animals in need? If you know a school that's thinking about introducing the Living Egg Project into their education system, then please try to educate them. Or if you have a friend or relative or someone else who knows, or even a care home, try to educate them, let them know, spread the word. In fact, spread this far and wide to anyone and everyone. This is something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. Not many people talk about this topic, and that's because a lot of people don't even know that this is happening. If they have already started this project in a school that you know of, or a care home, then it's not too late for these animals. You can still rescue them. You can contact animal sanctuaries and see if they'll be willing to help, or other animal rescue organizations. Try your best to rehome these animals, and if you're really struggling, you can always reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you in any way that I can. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for caring.